she had cancer around 2000 something, like early 2000s, and she went into remission and everything was fine and whatever, and like the yearly checkup thing in 2010, it came out that she had cancer again, and it was really bad. You know, it was like stage 4, insane, metastatic, awful. Like basically no solution.
Was she feeling it?
I don't think she was. I think she was feeling quite well, actually. Like she had I don't think she had ever been a really sporty person, and she had started like doing yoga and running races with her boyfriend.
That's
and
so
like
cute.
yeah, and she had always smoked, and so she had tried to stop smoking for a while. So ironically, I think it was a good like physical stage for her. So she got diagnosed on my birthday when I turned 15, and then I started high school. So when she died, I was like halfway through the first semester of high school, and I had to start that semester over 2 more times because then I moved back home. And so when like all these school again sort of thing had me in this place where I was like the second high school I went to, I was in this group of like, you know, the people that don't get to start school in their actual like fall or something. And so it was, I think we were 4 or 5, I don't remember well, and they all knew, like somebody in school had said, you know, like, yeah, there's this girl coming in and she just moved and whatever, and she lost her mom. And I didn't really enjoy that time. It was really weird, and like I felt like super alone. I didn't know anybody.
Do you feel like maybe because people knew and you were new, they maybe like didn't know how to approach you?
Maybe, yeah. But I think there comes a point where like maybe if that's the first thing people know about you when it just happened, yeah, that's really weird. And that's, they don't know how to approach you, and they don't know how to talk to you, or like they think you're like perpetually sad and miserable, you know?
Right, and they like you're so fragile, they don't want to like do the thing or say the thing that's gonna like make you break.
And so I think I do like, I made friends, you know. I had 2 or 3 friends that I went to dance class with, and like we did homework together and that sort of thing, and they were pretty normal. And then when I went into high school the 3rd time, which was the tag and all that, I had a really hard time telling people. Like it would come up that, oh yeah, my parents do whatever, and I would be like, yeah, and I would just not say anything.
Okay.
Like for a while I didn't say anything, and I wouldn't bring it up, you know. I think if somebody asked, like, it's not like a kindergarten sort of thing where like, what did your mom do and what did your dad do, but if it somehow like you had to say something about your mom, like I think we were in 1st semester or 2nd semester and we had biology, and the teacher knew my mom.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember that, but the teacher knew my mom, and so she asked me about her.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, she just died, and she was like, I'm so sorry. Right. And she was so nice, and I really loved working with her, or whatever. And so, like, several people knew beforehand. Like, they knew because she was known and, like, in the circle, sort of, you know? So, Chris, our director, she knew, right, obviously. Then a couple more people knew. Our Spanish teacher knew, too, because he was her teacher, too.
Right, yeah. I remember that.
So, yeah. But when it came to, like, our friends and, like, people that would say something, I would just, like, not say anything. Until that moment when we had to do a family tree sort of activity. And I was like, oh my god, I don't want to do this.
Did I find out then, or did you tell me before?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of that. I don't know. Because I was like bracing myself for the moment. Like I made it was a huge thing. It was like a foldable sort of, and I really liked it.
I really liked mine. Like that was so cool.
Yeah. And I love looking at the photos and like listening to stories and stuff. But I was dreading the actual presentation so much. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I think at some point I have to say that my mom died, and I was like feeling choked up a little bit.
So what was it that made you not want to sort of tell people? Was it more coming from a place of I don't want to speak about it to not make it real, or was it more of like I don't want people to know? Like what was going on there?
Maybe it was a little bit of I don't want people to know, and I think it was more like in the I don't want to come apart sort of thing, because I was like I knew that the moment I said it to somebody, or especially to a group of 30 people, right, I would start crying. And
was it like that on your sleeve?
Yeah. Okay. Like it was this huge thing that honestly I don't think people even cared about, It was more like my own thing of like I don't want to have to say it. I don't want to.
What about? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other people that wasn't sort of like the classroom, but maybe not your immediate family because they would know. Or like, did you talk to someone about it?
Well, the thing is, the friends that I had already, like from living in Mexico City, they all knew. So my best friends and everybody like knew at the time what was going on, and so I didn't have to tell anybody. I would just like I remember like my first high school friend, she knew because I told her like around the first few weeks of class or whatever. And my middle school friends, one of them, like my best friend from middle school, her mom died when we were in like 7th grade. I don't remember why. So like with that precedent, I wasn't dreading it, like as much as coming into this group of new people that I don't know in this setting of like, I think it was a weird combination of like I am home, like I'm in my hometown, but I don't know anybody anymore. Like slowly I started like
reaching back to
and like finding people that I knew before and making new friends too. So it started getting easier to sort of navigate the social life, I guess. But I think at the time it was a lot to move again to another city and to not know anybody, and then on top of that, like having to say, oh yeah, I moved here because my mom died. That was like so much. It was like TMI, So I think that was part of it. And also the thing of like I would like start crying in front of everybody, and it was not so much as it was not maybe shyness, it was more like weakness sort of thing. Like I don't want to be weak, and I don't want to be a crybaby. Kinda, I guess.
Okay, so like you're coming from, was there something in particular that made you believe that you would be weak for crying about your mom, or just like that was your process, I guess?
I guess that was, and because it was always like, because my parents divorced when I was 5 or 6, I think. So my mom always was like, we are a team, and so everybody has to do their best. And so it's like me, my brother, and my mom. And like when we were kids, I was always like trying to annoy my brother, but to like look out for him, and so in that way, it was like, it was always like, you have to be strong and you have to be, like, maybe not tough, but, like, hang in there, you know?
Okay.
That sort of thing. And so, at the moment when I was, like, I think, or at the time I thought, like, supposed to be strong, coming to even my friends, I guess, and telling them, oh, yeah, my mom died, was, like, so much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have a moment where you opened up and like cried with someone that wasn't necessarily in the family sphere? Maybe even if they were family, like a cousin or something, but more into like the friend sphere of your relationships?
Well, I don't think at the time it qualified, but you know, my English teacher from the Mamma Mia thing,
Right.
she became my dance teacher, and like she's still my dance teacher, but now she's also a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so with her, I think she was the first person that I talked to, and that I did cry while I was like I mean, a little, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was like not open the waterworks, of course, like fully.
Okay.
But yeah, I told her, and it was like a thing, and then I don't think I told anybody in the same sort of setting.
Mm-hmm.
In the same, yeah, no.
What was the thing that sort of made you open up to her?
Because she approached me, actually. It was not me.
Of course.
Because she came over and she was like, oh, I'm sorry that you have to do this, and if you don't want to do this for Mother's Day, it's totally fine, I get it. And then I was like, no, it's fine, I can do it. Like, it's not a problem, it's just right now.
Mm-hmm.
That I have to take a beat.
Okay. So has it become easier with time to talk about it?
Yeah. Like, I mean,
You don't sound very convinced.
the thing is, some parts are easier and some parts are still like, you know? Like, it's easier to say, like, I don't have a problem saying, oh yeah, my mom died, you know, if somebody asks.
Right, plus you do this thing that I find so incredible, and I don't know if it's in a good way or in a bad way.
I think it's a good way.
I do think it's in a good way, but it just baffles me every time you do it. So I know you know what is the thing I'm talking about.
It's hilarious.
You can tell what's.
Oh, the chinga tu madre, no tengo.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! I remember I was at your house, and I don't remember. We were with a group of people. We were like a group of friends. It wasn't just me.
It was. I think that time was one of my Christmas dinners.
I think
and we had like a piñata, and my brother did something.
Yes.
And I don't know if he told me or I told him the chinga tu madre thing, and
I think he said it. The chinga tu madre.
And I said I don't have one.
I think so.
That might have been. Yeah, that was hilarious.
I don't like. I just find it so interesting.
Well, you know, I think maybe it's a me thing that I am like dark humor. I like it. I do it, and I just. It's not a thing that I just do with my mom, you know. I do it with like my grandma and like joking about her funeral. Oh yeah, we're already planning it, you know, that sort of thing.
Right.
And my brother is very sensible about that. The opposite side.
So he doesn't do the joke?
Yeah, I know. He doesn't joke about grandma's funeral.
Okay.
I mean,
also
he jokes about my
mom.
mom.
He does.
He like a little bit, yeah. Maybe not to the extent that I do, but he does. But he does not joke like that about either of my living grandmas. Well,
Okay.
I do it. So maybe I'm too much of a dark humor type of person.
I mean, if it helps you, I'm guessing it's somehow helping you.
Yeah, because it's like I'm in a sort of I'm not taking myself too seriously sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's fine. Like, it happened, and it's sad, yeah, of course, and it's made me somehow the person that I am today, but it's also not something that I can change, you know? And I think it's fine. Like, if you make a thing about it, if you make a big deal out of it, and it's like, I don't want to talk about it, I think it's way worse, you know? Because then it's like avoiding the elephant in the room sort of thing. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But then there's this other part where when there are times when I'm like, I really wish I knew what you would tell me about this particular situation or this other thing.
Is that when you have a hard time?
Yeah. And it depends on the stakes at any given situation, you know? But it's like the first time I fell in love with a guy, like for real, I was like, shit. I wish I knew what she would tell me. And I don't know, like right now with the adulting, it's like, Jesus, how did you do it? Like, you had me at my age, you know? I would not dream to have a kid right now at all. So that's like, Jesus.